Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of Ron's Rants. Let's talk about cars. If you look at my YouTube channel, it's very apparent that I am very much a car guy. You know, anything that runs on an engine, makes noise, goes fast, I am definitely a fan of. But let's talk about some ways you can go about, owning nice cars or owning cars and doing that in a way that's not completely financially irresponsible. If you think about it, I mean, as much as I love cars, they are probably among the worst some of the worst things you can do with money as far as return on value, for as far as like dollars spent versus what you get out of it, right? If you buy a brand new car that's say $40,000, and I realize it's an expensive car, but let's just use that as an example. So you buy a $40,000 car and you pay a decent interest rate, let's say 3%, 3.25%. Sometimes there are incentives that are less than that. Let's just use that as an example. You have decent credit, you pay 3.25% to finance the car. You're going to end up paying $44,000 for that $40,000 car over a 5-year period. And here's the worst part. Cars lose value like crazy, regardless of what anyone tells you. Cars do not hold their value. There are some brands that do better than others, but they all lose value. So over the course of 5 years, that $40,000 car is going to lose at least 50% of its value. I've seen some estimates as high as 60%. So if we just use nice round figures, we'll say it loses half, right? So you buy a car for $40,000, you end up paying $43,000 for it because of financing it, and at the end of 5 years, that $43,000 car is worth about $20,000. So it's really hard to do well financially over a long period of time if you're doing this all the time, right? Especially if your income really can't support a car that costs that much. So what are some guidelines that you can follow? A really good one I heard, I've used it for years. I heard it many years ago, and it came from Dave Ramsey, where he spoke about as far as looking at ratios for spending on cars. A good guideline is 50% of your gross income. So what do I mean by that? Let's say, just for round numbers, make it easy, say you earn $100,000 a year, right? Say you have $100,000 a year income. If you add up your car, motorcycle, jet ski, four-wheeler, if you're in Georgia, if you add up all these things, everything that runs on an engine, if you add up all those things, they should be less than half of your annual income. So in other words, everything added up, if you're a $100,000 per year household, you should have $50,000 or less tied up in cars. And the reason for that is pretty simple. It actually makes a lot of sense. Is that you have too much money, even if you pay cash for it, even if say you save up and you pay cash for a car like that, you have too much money tied up in something that's going the wrong way. Like as I said earlier, it's really difficult to become wealthy when you're turning $40,000 into $20,000 every 5 years. So it's just from a financial standpoint, it's just not that wise. So, I mean, ideally, if you can, and you're the kind of person that you can find something that's nice, that's a few years older, that's actually probably the best way to go about it. Like, if you can buy a car that's, 3-4 years old, most of the depreciation has already happened. So someone else has paid the tax associated with owning new cars. And, you're able to pick it up at a better price. It's going to depreciate a lot less. And it's a better way to go about it. So some modifiers. At what point would I say that rule would apply less? So I'd say whenever your liquid net worth crosses $500,000 or more, right? So let's say you have over, let's say you're $100,000 a year household, and your liquid net worth. So again, your everything you have, like in stocks, liquid investments, cash, whatever, everything, all that add up, not including your house. Actual money you put your hands on. If all that exceeds $500,000 or more, then you can begin relaxing that a bit. If you want to spend a little bit more on a car, then it's not as bad. Ideally, you want to still stick to that rule as much as possible, because it's going to allow you to become wealthier faster. But once you have a nice financial cushion, or what I consider to be a pretty nice financial cushion, you can begin relaxing that a bit. But again, that rule of no more than half your annual income is a good rule. It's gonna keep you out of trouble. It's gonna free up money to do other things. If you think about it, most people that are car guys, like I keep my cars for a relatively long time. Like the car that I had before my current one, I had for 9 years. So I keep for car people, that's actually a long time to keep a car. So if you're the kind of person that you keep a car for a long time, it's less bad. But if you're the kind of person that, a new model comes out every 2-3 years and you're buying a new car every 2-3 years and you're financing the car every time, man, you're gonna have a really, really hard time becoming wealthy, because regardless of how much money you make, because it's just you have too much money that's going in the wrong direction. So that's my thought. Hopefully you guys found it useful. Let me hear your thoughts on the matter. Is that rule too restrictive? Is it not restrictive enough? What do you guys think? No more than half your annual income tied up in things that have engines in them or motors. If you have a Tesla, this applies to you guys too. Don't think you guys get away, because those go down in value too over time. So let me hear your thoughts. Is that rule reasonable? Not reasonable? What would you do differently? Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you guys haven't yet, check out my blog. It's at ron-henry.com. You'll see a link in the description to that. I have lots of great articles there that I post on various topics of finance, talk about car stuff, lifestyle stuff. So if you guys are interested, be sure to check that out. So again, thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.